It's Shannon with the Silhouette Cameo Fun Project Inspiration Group. Today I'm going to show you how to cut vinyl without a mat and with a mat and with a roll feeder. Real quick, I just want to show everyone what I keep my sheets of vinyl in. I use one of these and I got it from Michael's. It was about $5. I have one for all my sheets of Oracal 651, then I have another one for my 631, and then I have a separate one for cardstock. And it really helps me keep things organized, and I like being able to stack them up. So let's get down to the nitty-gritty. I'm going to start with just a sheet of vinyl with no mat. Okay guys, first things first, you're going to have your design onto your page already. Most important thing is to go to your page setup, and you want to make sure that you don't have your cutting mat on. If you have it set that you have a cutting mat and you're not cutting with a mat, it will mess up your cut. And same vice versa. If you have your design, your vinyl on a cutting mat and you said that you don't have a cutting mat, it will also mess up your design. It won't cut right. Half of it will be off the page and you'll have wasted vinyl. So we're going to make sure we put no cutting mat. This is what I'm going to cut, and I'm going to hook up my machine and send it to my machine. I'm using Oracal 651 and I'm using a glossy sheet. So I'm going to go down to my material types and find vinyl glossy. You can edit your material settings. I use an auto blade, and I'm just going to keep these default settings exactly the same. And you don't need to double pass on vinyl. There's no need to do that. So save, and then we're going to send. Okay, so here I am with my machine. Here's my 12 by 12 sheet of vinyl, and I have my auto blade set in here. And just for beginners, when you set a blade in, you want to push it all the way down, and then make sure you push this tab in so that it locks. And then also another thing I see people do is this little lever here is loose, and their roller isn't set all the way down, and your vinyl just moves all over the place. So make sure you have that locked. If you need to adjust these roller positioner things, I don't know what they're called, you just loosen this up. There's a little lock and unlock tab here, and you just twist it open so that you can move it if you had a smaller piece of vinyl. Like let's say like this part was cut off here and I just had this much vinyl I wanted to use, and that would help you have like a roller right here to keep it on. But I'm using 12 by 12, so I'm going to move it back over. I'm not using the very last one, I'm using the second to last one. And I'm going to lock it by twisting, and then make sure that this is up so that my roller is stuck. Then you just take your vinyl, you have your color sheet up. You don't reverse the image when you're doing vinyl. Make sure that it lines up with the blue line and your rollers are on your vinyl. Have it here, and then I'm going to load it. Whoops, unload. I'm going to load it in, and then I'm going to send my machine to cut. So the next thing I'm going to show you guys is how to cut rolls of vinyl if you don't have sheets or if you bought a large roll. I have tried when I was a newbie to just, line my roll up in there like I would a sheet and just cut a large cut from a roll without using a roll feeder, and it was a disaster. Your sheet will start to go diagonal and your cut gets messed up, and it is not a happy thing. You get mad and all that wasted vinyl is just gone. So I invested in a roll feeder. This is what it looks like. These tabs go down for storage, and this is where your roll will sit. So here's my roll. I am going to face it towards this white slot, and then you feed this through this white slot. So it should look like this. Then these holes right here will attach underneath your machine. There are these little foots on the machine right here and right here where they fit into the roll feeder. Make sure you have your vinyl up And then same thing with a sheet. You want to line your vinyl up with the roller and just hit load. And this will help you cut large cuts. So I will try and show you guys real quick what the roll feeder does when you're cutting. Okay, so I'm doing a large window decal here, and I'm using a 651 matte vinyl, and you can see that when I'm cutting this, the feeder rolls the vinyl in and then it'll roll it back up, so you don't have a huge mess and it's keeping it all in line together. Okay, so next thing we're moving on to is going to be scraps. So this is a scrap piece of vinyl. It's too small for me to roll, like fit it into my machine without a mat. So in this case, I do use my mat. Sorry, mine's dirty. I use mine until they're like done. So I take my vinyl, then I just line it up on the top of my mat. Make sure it's stuck down, and then I just put my mat into my machine just like I normally would. You just need to make sure that in your settings you tell the Silhouette Studio that you are cutting with a mat. And that's it. Everything's pretty easy. If you guys have any questions, please let me know.